to check that these lovely people can hear us, because if they can't, it's going to be a long old
But
night.
got a fucking point, Bush.
We're talking to ourselves.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Saturday Night Speedway with Shoot Some Shale. We've got a right treat, if that's what you could say, as we're watching along to the Plymouth Gladiators versus the hometown boys, the Scunthorpe Scorpions, in Cab Direct Championship action. As always, I am joined by Mr. Dylan Odgitz, and it's just the 18 tonight because Alan's off to do Alan things.
Alan could be doing anything, you know what he's like.
You have a very, very valid point there, sir.
I do try.
And just before we crack on with this meeting, there is one other championship meeting happening tonight at Berwick, the other end of the country.
Yeah, the Berwick Bandits versus the Edinburgh Monarchs. Shall we have a look at their lineups quickly before we crack on with these ones?
So for the Berwick Bandits, rider replacement operates number 1 for Craig Cook, because apparently he's poorly. Number 2 is Sam Hagan. Number 3 is Bob. Number 4 is Drew Kemp. Number 5, Peter Kilderman. Number 6, Dale Wood. And at number 7, Jack Smith.
Their number 8 is actually Mark Parker as well.
Big up Park Marker.
Yeah. And for the Edinburgh Monarchs, Victor Palavara goes at number 1, or whatever Simon Lambert's just called him. Kai Thompson goes at number 2, Justin Sedgeford at 3, Paco Castagna at 4, Mark Palmtoft at 5, Jonathan Grant at 6, and Geordie Loftus at number 7. Be interesting to see how Geordie Loftus goes on this track, other than the debut at National League level for Edinburgh. It's been a bit crap everywhere else, hasn't he, so far?
It's not been ideal, has he?
No. And now on to the meeting we're covering tonight.
That'll be nice. You go down Plymouth.
Oh, thanks very much. You go first then.
So for the shit one, I mean Scunthorpe at number 1 is Steve Worrell. At number 2 is Captain Simon Lambert. At number 3 is Declan Kennedy. And at number 4, Connor Mountain. Jay Callum next is return at number 5 with the 2 reserves. At number 6, Luke Harrison. And at number 7, Zane Kennedy. And just as one for you both, we've both got the same one to watch.
We have both got the same rider to watch, and I'll let you explain why, because we've both got the same reason as well.
So we've both gone for Zane Kennedy, that one to watch. He's done that many guest bookings around this track this season that he is virtually a home rider, or at least he probably feels at home around this track. So yeah, that's why we've gone for him.
And for the Plymouth Gladiators, making his debut at number 7, Daniel Klima, who was signed last week, and has said that he spent all day at the track and he likes the look of it. He's definitely not telling lies. Mitchell Clough rides at number 6. We'll get there in the end. Lassie Fredrickson moves to number 5 for tonight. Joe Thompson at 4 to ride a replacement at number 3 for Ben Barker, who's down with appendicitis. Alfie Botel rides at 2. And Nikolai Clint is required to ride in Poland tomorrow and is not here tonight. Make it make sense. Carl Herf guests at number 1. Your man to watch for the Gladiators, Palmer.
So I've gone for Lassie Fredrickson. Anybody that knows me knows that I am quite a fan of Lassie Fredrickson. I think he's got a super style on the motorcycle. He's been very unlucky with injuries over the past couple of seasons, but I think riding at this home track will do him a bit of good, and I'd love to see him at Scunny one day. But yeah, Lassie Fredrickson one to watch. And just as a little observation, it looks like Daniel Klima's Kevlars have a sponsor on.
Oh.
Admittedly, the last year's Kevlars, but that's not the point.
I'm going to go for Joe Thompson. He's riding. He's starting to pick up well in the Premiership, but as well he can gate. And if you can gate on this track, it's half the battle, because it's very, very difficult to pass round here. So I think Joe Thompson has really made the Coliseum his own as well. So be interested to see how he goes tonight. I'll be keeping an eye over Berwick versus Edinburgh as well. And Palmer's watching the Grand Prix, so we'll bring the occasional update from the GP as well.
If you want a quick update for the GP, strawberry jam is crap.
Mitchell Clough's not got Kevy's on tonight either. He's got his own suit on with a race jacket.
I don't know if he's needing spares or repairs or something like that. Maybe.
Possibly. Carl's got his Sheffield suit on from last season.
That's 23 snush, I think that.
Same thing, any. Could be
Same
any.
thing, isn't it?
He's raced for them for a while, so it literally could be any.
It's blue and yellow and it's got a tiger on it.
Yeah. And a gladiator over the top of it.
You haven't even got that. It's just got a blue square and a yellow square and Super 7 at the bottom.
You've got a point. The gates, Plymouth are off 1 and 3 in Heat 1. We don't know who won the toss, but we know Plymouth are off 1 and 3. I love that. Carl's got his Sheffield Kevlars on and his Leicester Fort covers.
British Speedway in it.
Heat number 1, the lineup going off the inside gate in blue for the Gladiators. Alfie Botel, gate 2 in yellow. D&D Media Zone, Simon Lambert, gate 3 in red is the guest for the Gladiators tonight. That's Kyle Howarth. And off the outside in white is Steve Worrell.
So just a little disclaimer, if I do start going off on a rant because Scunny you've been a little bit crap, I apologise now in advance. It's hard to be professional watching your own team, innit?
Which is why we asked Alan to do this with me tonight, but Alan's gone out to get pissed instead.
To be fair, I'm doing that and I'm at home watching it.
I saw what you mean about Kyle's race jacket. It's just a couple of coloured squares.
Literally all it is. Nice to know he's got a number 1 on the back though, so we know where he's riding.
And to be fair, we've both said this today, Kyle Howarth around Plymouth makes Plymouth stronger than Nicola Clint would have. Nicola Clint's really not taken to this track very well, to be honest.
He hasn't, no. And if Poland could require Nikolai Clint to ride on Friday, that would be greatly appreciated, please and thanks.
And all of that.
So we'll start Marshall now, just bringing the boys into order then for heat number 1. I'm going to try not to get distracted from the big tractor racing on the GP. Come on, Simon. Some of us have got beds to go to tonight. So the start Marshall walking away for race number 1. The tapes fly, away we go, and it's a very solid start there for both the Plymouth Gladiators there, although Steve Worrell just gets himself around the outside. Alfie Botel and the challenge is on. For him and Kyle Howarth, who currently leads away. Simon Lambert at the rear of the field, although Simon's trying everything to get round Alfie Botel, but Botel just holding the right sort of line there over Simon, and Simon's trying absolutely everything, and Simon could just do with a little bit more speed, twisty thing like bike go fast and all of that. Because I do think Simon's quicker than Alfie there in the 4th place position. Kyle Howarth made the absolute perfect start. Either way, he's gone. Simon Lambert pull a right wheelie down the back straight. I think that's the best way I've ever seen Simon Lambert do. Kyle makes a slight mistake coming off the 4th turn, but he's still got plenty in the tank to not allow Steve Worrell to make any form of challenge. And it's going to be a tight one for 3rd, but
I think so. I might have nicked that. I hope he hasn't, because I've already done my scorecard. But I think he might have nicked that.
That was very, very close to 3rd. I think to be fair, Alfie and Simon both made a mistake coming off that 4th turn.
Yeah, it was who sorted it out quicker, weren't it? But I think so. I might have nicked that.
So doing his little rave as he gets off his bike.
I think Si's got it.
I think Si's got that.
These think he has. They've put it as a 3-all. And he did. That's messed my programme up already. We've only just bloody started. So heat number 1 was a win for the rider in red, Kyle Howarth. 2nd in white, Steve Worrell. And 3rd in yellow on the line, Simon Lambert. Points divided 3 apiece. After 1 race, there is no aggregate score yet, so second meeting of this takes place on Friday, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah, second leg takes place at this on Friday at the Eddie Wright Raceway, so if you've got nothing on, come on down and I'll chat some more crap into the live mic that you won't be able to hear. How's that to sell a meeting for you? The burgers are good though.
To be fair, the racing's usually alright as well.
Can't complain much.
I'll be very interested to see how Daniel Klima gets on a track like this, and it's on gate 4 in your first race around here isn't easy, is it?
It's not the easiest.
Heat number 2 going off gate 1 in white, Luke Harrison. Gate 2 in red is Mitchell Clough. Gate 3 in yellow, Zane Kennedy. And off the outside in blue is Daniel Klima. So the fella who's just signed has got Kevies on, albeit last season's. The fella who's been here all season has got his own Kevies on and a race jacket. Make it make sense.
Martin Phillips is a tight bastard.
To be fair, Gate 1 won Heat 1, and looking at this lineup, I wouldn't be surprised to see Gate 1 win Heat 2 either.
No, I'd like to think this will be a 1-5, to be honest. Because let's be honest, Zane should be alright at reserve. Luke's flying at reserve. Daniel Klima not really seeing the place.
Yeah, he's an unknown. Luke marvels me. He's got a white helmet, but he's got a white helmet colour on it.
Well, you see, because Luke told me yesterday while I was working, he spends so much time cleaning bikes, he didn't want to clean his helmet as well. So Startbasher walks away for heat number 2. The tapes fly, away we go, and it's a very good start there for Mitchell Clough. I can't believe I'm saying that. And being pressured all the way by both the Scorpions in the second place position. Daniel Cleveland now's got around Luke Harrison in third, and this one wasn't in the books because Mitchell Clough is meant to be a bit crap, but he has the lead at the minute and he's doing a very good job there out in front with Zane Kennedy there. He's almost settled there in the second place position. Daniel Klima's trying to chase Zane in there for that second place there, and Luke's just tailed off a little bit at the back. Maybe he's a little bit tired from doing a bit of travelling last night and a bit of travelling today. Who knows? The track's already a dust bowl as we come into the last lap now, and Zane Kennedy's got to have his eyes in the back of his head because Daniel Klima, one mistake from Zane and Klima will be through. But it's going to be a big race win there for Mitchell Clough, and Kennedy just gets the second place there.
That wasn't in the books, was it?
Don't know much. I don't read books.
Can you read?
Only if you've got nice pictures in the books as well.
Or it's the TV magazine and it's telling you what's on the telly box.
Yeah, especially on a specific channel.
So the result of Heat 2 was a win for the rider in red, Mitchell Clough. Second in yellow, Zane Kennedy. And third in blue, Daniel Klima. 4 points to Gladiators, 2 to the Scorpions. Makes the progressive score 7 points to 5. Zane's the better trapper of the Kennedy brothers. He just completely missed it there.
If you think Zane missed that, wait till you see Declan out in the next one.
Oh yeah, Deck's not the best of trappers, is he? And we
I think he...
honestly, right, Mitchell Clough's Kevlars look like a wrestler with really oversized knee pads. The knee pads look massive for him.
Maybe that's what Mitch Clough was in a past life.
Actually, Zane doesn't make a bad gate. 2 just gets there quicker.
Yeah, Clough just makes use of the inside on turns 1 and 2, and that was it. Away he was gone.
The rider replacement for Ben Barker as well can only be taken by Lassie Fredrickson, Alfie Botel, Mitchell Clough and Daniel Klima. I'd imagine it'll probably be one of the 2 reserves that go in this one, to be honest.
I'd probably put Botel out, to be honest.
I'd probably give Clough another, or maybe Klima. Ooh. Yeah, I'd probably put Clough out, capitalise on the fact he's just won.
Or just help us out a bit and just go 3 riders only.
Give Scunny every chance. Decent looking crowd, considering the weather forecast looked bloody awful.
People have turned up. I'm shocked. Kyle Howarth looks far too happy to be at Plymouth.
He's riding well for everybody this year, barring last year when he raced for Scunny and he was crap.
Thanks for reminding us, Bush.
No problem. I think it's going to be Mitchell Clough. He's gone back into his pits and he's kept the red helmet on. So I think
got the red helmet on, hasn't he?
Might be Mitchell Clough for 2 on the bounce.
Mind you, he's just passed Lassie Fredrickson, his goggles.
Perhaps
So
Lassie's
who
gonna.
knows what's happening?
Perhaps Lassie's gonna whack his tear offs on for him. He is as well. Lassie's putting the tear offs on for him.
But while we've got a minute, 8:13 of the GP's about to start on the telly. So I'll tell you what, I'll give you a running commentary for that. Mickelson red, Kvek blue, Lebedev's in white, Kai Huckenbeck in yellow. Don't tell us we don't treat you what shoots some shale. The tapes fly up and away we go. It's a very good start there for Mickelson in the red helmet colour. And Lebedev's now looking to fly around the outside of him there in the white helmet colour. Kvek looking to go up the inside as well in blue. This is one hell of a racer, and it's Lebedev's now that has that current lead, and now Huckenbeck up the inside of Kvek. Kvek is absolutely crap. I don't know why I support him, and I might have to stop now. And Kvek is about to bin it. No, he hasn't. What a boy. Nicholson's there now in second place. Lebedev's is that far in front. He may as well just pop to Vastovic, a race there as well, as we go into lap number 3. And there's a big battle here for second and third, actually. It's quite an entertaining battle with Mickelson and Huckenbeck, and it's currently Mickelson there that just about holds it. Lebedev's is country mile out in front, and he's doing big Andy Lebedev's things. Mickelson's still settling there in the second position now, and it's this is how it's going to stay with Big Ange impressing as he has done all night. Mickelson second, Huckenbeck in third. Kvech, you are shit, mate.
Confirmation: Mitchell Clough is the rider replacement in Heat 3. I love that Stevie's got his old bike covers on there from like 2023. I think they were his Cardiff ones.
Yeah.
There's Deck, who isn't bothered about washing his helmets because he's got no helmet colours in sight there.
I think him and Zane share them.
That'd make sense. Although Zane's got a white helmet as well. Smart.
Very smart.
We don't do smart things in Speedway. Luke looks buzzing. Where he said yesterday he was expecting today to be off, but that was why he came in to do a day's full of work. Andy's a smart fella, and he get him in for a day's full of work and then get him racing tonight.
You're forgetting the point of washing all the bikes and everything after work yesterday as well.
Poor guy. At least they're putting some H20 down there, that helps.
Still looks far too dry.
They've obviously
Here's a man on.
Carry on.
Here's a man on screen, Connor Mountain, probably been Scunthorpe's best performer so far this year, and if it wasn't for rolling averages, probably would be number 1 at this point of time.
I don't think you're too far off wrong with that, to be fair. Joe's getting ready. Joe loves these Kevs. He's getting his use out of these Plymouth Kevlars, isn't he?
I can't blame him.
I'm trying to figure out
You never know where
Kev is that Klima's got on.
Cameraman, nip up to Claimer and just I don't know, look at his back.
Always took his helmet. Oh, he's drying his head off. So he sits there in his helmet, and then just before the race is going to be called, he takes it off. How very smart, Mr. Clough.
8:14 of the GP then, Brady Kurtz is outgated absolutely everybody, and Dan Bewley now looking to come round the outside of Dominic Kubera, and he does so in a perfect style. Kubera looking to come up the inside there again of Bewley. Sammy Van Dix at the meter reserve, who's in for the injured Martin Vashik. He's about 200 miles behind. He may as well be in England, riding for Plymouth probably, because you know what they're like. Brady Curtis looks absolutely sublime out in front. Dan Bewley looking there nice in second, so it's almost looking ideal for a Bellevue 5-1 if this was a team event, but it's not a team event. Dominic Kubera is more than settled in third place at the moment, as we've got one lap then left to go of heat number 14 of the SGP from Vanilla, the Swedish one. And Bewley there going a little bit far too wide there, but he managed to keep hold of that second place position. Brady Kurtz winning to make James Jessup cream his underpants, Dan Bewley second, and Dominic Kubera third.
I think you called it right with Vanilla, to be honest, because it's crap. It's boring.
To be fair, this meeting's got a bit better.
Couldn't have got much worse, though, to be honest. Oh, we're getting ready for heat number 3.
3. It's been a while since we've had heat number 2, hasn't it?
It feels like it. It's a very smartly placed track grade, weren't it?
Very convenient, wasn't it?
And Connor
Give me
Mountain,
SGP2 from Cardiff.
yeah, Connor Mountain's going to be looking to put him in some Premiership thoughts, although you saw him guesting for Ipswich at Kings Lynn and he didn't have the best of meetings, did he?
He wasn't the best. He was very much outshined. Admittedly, Kings Lynn had a GP rider at reserve, although by his showing tonight, he probably shouldn't be a GP rider. Love you, Jan.
Heat number 3, gate off gate 1 in blue for the Gladiators, Joe Thompson, gate 2 in white for the Scorpions, Declan Kennedy, who we're happy to work for this year now. Gate 3 in
What a
red for
boy.
his second ride on the bounce, Mitchell Clough, and off the outside in yellow is King Con, as Palmer likes to call him, Connor Mountain. We've got 11 people watching. If you're watching, get in the comments, keep us going, give us some filler, give us some predictions, all of that good stuff.
Let us know what you're having for your tea tonight, because we're quite largely built folk.
We're big
and
boned.
we like
We were
to know
always told when we were in school we were just big boned, and now we know they were just lying to us.
exactly. That's all teachers do nowadays.
I want to know
Apart from driving teachers, they're very good. Shout out Steve if you were listening to us tonight.
I want to know why Mitch Clough's Kevies have got handprints all down the side of them. I feel like there's a story to be had there, and I really want to know what it is.
Message him on Facebook and ask him.
I'm going to call it now. I don't think Deck is going to make this start.
I've got a gut feeling you might be right. The Star Marshal walks away for heat number 3, and Declan, as expected, was fast asleep there, and Joe Thompson's got there, so was Mitchell Clough. This is quite disappointing, this. And both Scorpions now, Declan up the inside there of the rider in blue, Joe Thompson, and now he's got Mitchell Clough in his sights. Connor Mountain very disappointing in the 4th place at the current point of time. But Declan's close on Clough, and one mistake from Mitchell Clough, and Deck will be through. Connor Mountain's had an absolute mare here, and Deck's trying absolutely everything to get round Mitchell Clough here, who's putting in yet another very impressive first race. We've got one lap left to go then of this torch. I mean, watching this race here at Plymouth, and Connor's not even making any ground on Joe here as well, so it's going to be another 4-2 for Plymouth to extend their lead. And is it already too early to say I'm depressed with this?
Yeah, it might be. Don't you worry, we'll let you have a break after the next one while they're doing a track grade. You can have a minute to, I don't know, squirm into your pillow like somebody we know does.
Ironically, it's a Plymouth fan as well that does that, isn't it?
Yeah, Winchester, who's actually not bothered to go down tonight for what he's got his reasons why he's not there. So he's brought the stream and he said he was listening to us. So heat number 3 was won by the rider replacement rider in red, Mitchell Clough, for his second win on the bounce. Second in white, Declan Kennedy, and third in blue, Joe Thompson. 4 points to 2 in favour of the Gladiators, makes the progressive score after 3, 11 points to 7. Deck had some speed about him then, cannot gate for Toffee, but he's generally quite quick on tracks when he gets going.
100%. I mean, as we can see here on the replay, he was fast asleep at that gate. But as soon as Joe sort of just moved off the line there on bend 2, that was it. Deck says, thanks very much, pal, I'm coming through. And to be fair to Deck, he kept it on Mitchell Clough all race.
We've got a comment on YouTube from Leonard Stilgo. Hi lads, good job, you made my night. Keep up the good work. Legend, what a boy, that's a new name for us as well.
What a man.
It's always nice to see new faces in the chat, so...
I don't want to jinx this, but Plymouth usually is Jake Allen's best away track.
You've said it now. You've got
usually been the key word.
Heat number
I just
4,
like
then.
to keep our
Can I crack on with this before it goes off?
Go for it.
Heat 4 it's gone off. Daniel Kilmer gate 1 in blue Gate
Blue.
2 in yellow, Zane Kennedy. Gate 3 in red is Lassie Fredrickson. And off the outside in white is the aforementioned Jake Allen, back after personal reasons made him miss the Scunny meeting a couple of weeks ago. Was that when you lost to Oxford? Is that the meeting you missed?
Forgot about the meeting.
Oh, was that the one he missed?
Yeah.
Yeah. They all go by so quick.
So,
We watch a lot of Speedway.
me too. That actually walks away for heat number 4. The tapes fly away we go, and it's both. It's Zane Kennedy that gets to the first bed first, and Jake Allen there joining him there in the second place position. Daniel Kilmer there in the third place with Lassie Fredrickson at the back. It's very, very tight on this very narrow and small Plymouth track. Zane Kennedy though, an absolute flying start there, and Jake Allen very, very close to the infield, but being chased all the way by Daniel Kleemer, who, to be fair, is probably performing better than we expected as we come into the third lap here. And Lassie Fredrickson wants to join the party, and Kleemer goes wide to say, "Come on, Lassie, pal, you come up the inside." Lassie says, "No, thanks, you're too close to the Scunthorpe boys." And
Jake's going to get
Kleemer
past
now
there.
looking to put he looked to put a challenge on Jake, and Jake just blocked Kleemer's run there perfectly. And I think this is watch out, Jake. He's going to have you here if you're not very careful. But he doesn't, and well, we're all square. And Lassie Fredrickson is crap.
Zane and Jake almost tripped over each other on that third and fourth turn of the first lap. Zane went for his line and he almost pushed Jake out of the way inadvertently, I think. So Jake was having to make up ground from that point, and Zane got away. Kleemer was there or thereabouts for the entire race though, and I think you were probably lucky that Lassie Fredrickson tried to race him at the end, but the result of Heat 4 was a win for the rider in yellow, Zane Kennedy, second in white, Jake Allen, and third in blue, Daniel Kleemer. 1 point to Plymouth, 5 to Scunny, and as Palmer said, we're all tied up at 12 points apiece after 4 races. To be fair,
Could I just say
that track grade that Plymouth did after 2 has really helped Scunny. It's got you back on level terms.
Can I just say as well, I also love this shit house we're going on. Zane Kennedy's mechanic is Ben Trigger.
Yeah.
This time last week was a Plymouth rider.
I do love that, yeah. Trigger's probably Trigger's like, oh, I'll give you a pay rise. You can have my services for free if you go and shithouse these. And he was like, alright, pal, I'll do that, not a problem. I'm interested to hear where Leonard's watching us from. A new name in our comments. So I'm interested to, we got someone from Canada the other day. What kind of reach we're starting to get.
Shoot some shale goes worldwide. While they're having a track race, shall we have a quick minute?
Can I do a quick update from Berwick first?
You do that and I'll go for a very quick wee.
No problem. You have yourself a minute. So, there have been 2 races at Berwick so far. Heat number 1, the rider replacement for the unwell Craig Cook was Drew Kemp, and Heat 1 was won by Sam Hagan with Kai Thompson in second and Victor Palavara in third. Drew Kemp at the rear of the field. Points divided 3 apiece in the opener. Heat number 2 was won by Jonathan Grant for the Monarchs, with Jack Smith in second and Dale Wood in third. Geordie Loftus continues his struggles at championship level and finishes at the rear for another 3 each, and it's 6 points apiece after Heat 2. There's track grading actually happening quite early on at Berwick as well, so they don't usually do it this early. Dan Winchester's message: classic Trigger working in the Scunny pits. I do not blame Trigger one little bit. I'm all here for that level of shithousery from Trigger, to be honest.
Love it from Triggs.
Yeah.
He knows the proper team that'll accept his services.
And he lives locally, doesn't he? That's why I think it shocked so many people when Plymouth got rid of him. So what better rider to have? He knows Plymouth inside and out, and I'm sure certain people at Plymouth will have an issue with that. I know certain people had an issue with him taking a picture with Nigel Tolley when he was at Birmingham the other week for the National Trophy meeting.
How very dare Ben Trigger take a picture with another promoter?
Shocking. I went up to Tolley on Monday actually. I was like, "You got Trigger sacked." He just laughed. He was like, "I don't quite think it went that way." I was like, "Oh yeah, you definitely got him sacked." That was good fun. And Mitchell Clough's answering some critics, me included, because I thought that if anyone was going to be sacked from this Plymouth team, it should have been him, based on the fact he dropped his average by 2 points in the first quarter of the season. He's doing well tonight, but he does generally do better at home than away, and Plymouth have got a run of away meetings coming up. Starting on
Friday.
Week. Starting next week at Scunny,
yeah. I hope it's another Workington score.
To be fair, right,
nice.
People are saying about Trigger being in the Scunny pits, but you've got Mickey Simpson who rides for the Plymouth Trophy team in the Scunny pits for Si as well. So he's not the only one. I mean, Mickey worked for Si before he raced for Plymouth, but...
And the big thing with Mickey and Si is they both live in Boston. They live literally minutes within each other, so it sort of just makes sense, because I know as well when Si's managing for the Steelers, he's also sort of mechanicking for Mickey as well.
Yeah.
So they help each other out a bit, and it's a nice little thing they've got going on.
Stevie's helmet it's not the one he had before. I don't know what's going on with it. It's strange. It ain't a new one.
I mean, it shouldn't be the one that he had before, because Peter Kilderman rode over it.
You've got a point. But he's definitely got a red helmet. It might be the one he had at when he was at Wolves in 22. No, I don't think he did have a coloured helmet that year. I think he only had him in 23 and 4. I don't know. Alfie's being interviewed. Oh boy. Does that suggest Alfie's taking the RR in heat number 5 then? Because Joe Thompson's on his bike ready, and Alfie, Lassie and the 2 reserves are the only ones who can take it. It looks like Alfie's sat on his bike, or he's got his deck chair out in the middle of the pits. Alfie sat on his bike, Kyle in the background, sat on that fence. I really hope it falls just for the shits and giggles of it. It's leaning a touch, to be fair.
It is a little bit, innit?
Let's have a quick look back at Berwick and see what's going on. Oh, okay. Heat number 3 has just took place at Berwick and was won by the rider in blue, Drew Kemp, with Danny and Hume in second and Justin Sedgman third. Paco brought up the rear of the field. Sedgy gated apparently, but was struggling. 5-1 to Berwick, 11 points to 7 after 3 in Berwick's favour. It'll be raining by the time this track grade's finished. Come on, boys, any time this side of Christmas.
I mean, if anybody's interested in the GP, Bartosz Matrix just got his backside handed to him by Robert Lambert and Jack Alder.
Bartek's struggling a little bit on this track, isn't he? Thought that truck was about to wipe out them tapes.
Because in the words of Simon Lambert at a different British track, it's a man's track.
What's that one that he's talking about?
Eric.
Oh yeah, he does ride Berwick quite well, doesn't he?
I'm surprised he hasn't had a season at Berwick yet, to be honest.
Yeah, he does ride there quite well. Oh, track grade's done. That's a start. Although that's
Are they done, or are they just parking on the infield for
I was going to say
laughs and poos?
That's not a very smart place to park that size truck. Or tractor for that matter. Surely they're not finished. They can't leave them there. Hello, girl who's waving in the crowd, shaking your head. You're on Plymouth TV, not Sky Sports, love.
They wanted to be on a different live streaming service when they had a different commentator involved.
I wonder who you mean.
Nope, nobody wants to be on there anymore.
You have a very valid point, to be honest. Is that Mitch McDermott's mechanic spannering for Steve?
It could very well be.
I think it might be.
It is Alfie in red.
I don't think that's a surprise, really. Joe will be looking for more. So,
to be fair, we'll show Steve Worrell and Simon Lambert.
You have a point. Stevie looked relatively quick in Heat 1. He just couldn't get past Passing at Plymouth's difficult at the best of times, let alone right at the beginning of a meeting.
Yeah, for sure.
And we were supposed to be back with a watch along tomorrow, but we aren't now because Bellevue have called off their National League meeting between them and the Middlesbrough Tigers, which we had a lot of vested interest in, actually.
We did. And, you know, it's like you've said to me a few times. Our weekend, this weekend, went from being the busiest weekend we've ever had to
Next to
quite
nothing.
a quiet one.
We thought this was they're going to be off as well, and that would have really summed up our weekend.
But no, we've got a meeting on, and it's all square after 4 eats. So, you know.
Connor's going down the mullet route. That seems to be a thing this season. Just about see his little mullet behind Si's head.
I don't know why he's going down the mullet. He's a 28-year-old married man. He should be having like the short hair sort of dad look.
Short back and sides, not a cheeky mullet. I think Flinty's got one as well. Seems to be a theme at the moment, to be honest.
But Flinty's under the age of 25.
Leonard says, living in Nuneaton, a Coventry Bees supporter having a quiet weekend off Speedway. Coventry Bees, always a good place to go. Did you ever go to Coventry?
I went twice, right? And the 2 meetings, no, 3 times. And 2 of the meetings I went to see there was very, very good. The other time was Coventry Storm versus Scunthorpe Stags in 2014, and we got battered 72-18.
Ouch.
But we try and forget that one.
I was at Coventry that night when James Sargent and Nathan Greaves had their infamous scrap, which involved the police in the end. I think it was Cradley and Coventry, or Coventry and Cradley. And the dads got involved, and they were all scrapping and this and that, and the police ended up getting involved, and I think that was my last meeting at Coventry. Always enjoyed going to Coventry because they always did really nice. Well, they did a nice chicken burger and chips.
That suit Daniel Clayman's got on his Kyle Howarth's old.
I did think
Plymouth
that when
suit.
I looked at the back because I saw the Wessex Marine on the shoulder.
But yeah, going back onto the subject of Coventry, I mean, I was fortunate enough to go to the last ever meeting there, the Elite League Riders Championship that Freddie Lindgren won. That was some meeting.
2016. Yeah.
And the year before, it was actually by a coincidence that I went to it, but I went to Coventry Bees versus the Lakeside Hammers. And I only went there because Scunthorpe had an MDL team back then.
Yeah.
And our MDL team was there, and the team manager was going, and he sent me a message. He's like, "Do you want to come to Coventry?" And I'm like, "I'm not going to turn down a lift to a
Was that
Speedway
Richard
meeting."
Hollingsworth? Was that when
It was.
Yeah, when Richard Hollingsworth was in charge of Scunner.
Does someone want to tell Matt Phillips want to see bikes going round the track, not him strutting round? It's a Speedway meeting, not a catwalk.
Coventry and Lakeside, two I think did they both shut in 2016 as well?
No, Lakeside shut in 2018.
Oh yeah, they had the drop down, didn't they? Yeah, because Calvin Tatum was involved for a bit there while.
They dropped in 2017 to the National League and moved to the Championship in 2018.
That rings a bell.
And then they shut halfway through, and they did the remaining meetings at Rye House, who also shut in 2018.
Yeah, part way through the season. Yeah, I remember that. I saw the other day that planning permission had been submitted to for redevelopment of Arena Essex as well. Never the most popular of tracks, but if you had every track in the country as throttle jockey tracks, they'd be a bit boring, wouldn't they? So you need tracks like Rye House, Wolves and Lakeside, and dare I say it, Plymouth.
Are you drunk?
You need different style of tracks though, don't you? Stevie's off the gate here. See how he does. We're back on with racing. That was a good bit of filler. Heat 5, Gate 1 in yellow, Simon Lambert. Gate 2 in red is Alfie Botel taking the rider replacement ride for Ben Barker. Gate 3 in white is Steve Worrell, and off the outside in blue is Joe Thompson. Hopefully Coventry will be back next year. in the positions me and Palmer find ourselves in, we hear things, and there has been a lot going on about Coventry actually, which is intriguing. But we wait and see what happens.
It is, and all I would say to the fine young person that's watching us from Nuneaton is always use the phrase "no news is good news."
And to be fair, Matt Ford's involved there, isn't he? And if anyone can get what he wants, it's Matt Ford.
Matt Ford has money.
He has a lot of money, and he has a lot of acquaintances. Don't show that bike cover of side. Show the one round the other side where his leg is, where our logo is.
Yeah, just go round there, cameraman. So the boys getting into starting orders then for race number 5. Nearly said 12. I don't know why. Tapes right away we go. I think Alfie had a little bit of a nibble there, but it's Alfie that gets to the first turn first. But Steve Warren now blasting his way around the outside there of Alfie Botel. Simon Lambert there in the third place position, with Joe Thompson struggling at the back, to be honest. This is very uncharacteristic from Joe Thompson. Now Simon looks to around the outside of Alfie Botel. He's done him. What a ride there from Simon Lambert. Now Botel back up the inside of Lambert. This is a quality race, this between two British divisions, a neck and neck going down the home straight, and Simon Lambert goes there. I think Simon possibly
Alfie's collected him.
I think Alfie collected, but it was a bit of a delayed reaction from Si.
I think Alfie.
But knowing who the referee is, Joe Thompson will go for that.
Which one is it? Dave Waters, Gary Allen, or the Trunchbull?
The Trunchbull.
Oh God. To be fair, that should have been stopped anyway, because Alfie had a massive nibble at the start and he gained an advantage. He led into the first turn. So it should have been called back anyway.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that saw that.
And that's a neutral reaction. I'll be interested to see who does go for that. Si looks a little bit annoyed, but Alfie goes straight into the side of him.
He does. It's a shame, really, because between the two of them, it was a very good race.
Alfie has gone and offered his hand to Si. Hopefully, we've just cut away. Hopefully, they've shook hands on it. I don't think there's any malice, but he takes his leg. He does. Yeah, he goes down after he's been clipped. There is a bit of a delay. Si will go for that.
Well,
Alfie does take his leg, but Si will go for that because of the delayed reaction, like you said.
We say Si will go for this. It's Miss Christina.
Si's gone because he's going to the phone.
Gone.
He wants to go on the phone. If he'd have gone down, he'd have been on the home straight when it happened, but if he'd have gone down when he was collected, he wouldn't have been out. It was a delayed reaction to go down, and that's why he's out. So, dare I say it, I think she's got it right.
Yeah, 100%. And I hate saying that about Christina, because she's not a very good referee.
As we saw in the Grand Prix the other week. How is the Grand Prix doing there, come to mention it?
I'll be honest with you, I've been that intrigued in this meeting, I forgot it was on in the background.
David Harry's now going to the phone to question it, but she's got it right. I think it's harsh, but I think she's got it right.
It's probably not a bad thing having Dave on the phone before Simon, because if Simon gets on the phone first, I don't think Christina's going to be a very happy lady with what she's about to receive on the other end of it.
And you have to question it, whether he agrees or whether he does. You have to question the decision if you just if it's a clear and obvious one, but there is some form of,
there's contact, but I don't.
Yeah, there's argument to be made, so you have to question it. And Joe gets a second bite at the cherry. Brilliant pass by Stevie to get round the outside of Alfie, who should have been stopped anyway because he had a massive jump and got away with it. That wouldn't have happened if he'd have been stopped initially. And if that's not gaining an advantage, jumping and leading for nearly the first lap, then I don't know what is.
You've got a point.
And it's all on Steve now. And that moves Si on to 1 and a bonus from 2 rides now, and if Zane keeps going the way he is, I reckon he could get his full 7 tonight. Rerun of heat number 5, no rider off gate 1 with Simon Lambert disqualified, Alfie Botel gate 2, Steve Worrell gate 3, Joe Thompson gate 4. 2 and 3 have been the gates
Go
so
on.
far. 2 wins off each.
Come on, Mr. Stephen, DBS and all of that. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't.
I know.
You're often on the receiving end of DBS messages. So I start Marshall then getting these boys into order. No Simon Lambert, so just Steve Wall representing the Lincolnshire side, and I think Steve was fast asleep at the gates there, but Botel's made it once again, and Joe Thompson's there with him. Wall round the outside of Joe Thompson there. Beautiful move there from Steve. Now Steve's got his eyes set on Alfie Botel up the front, but I think Botel's just got that much of a lead over Steve. I don't think Steve's going to really be able to capitalise on anything unless he has a little bite, mechanical failure, or a little slidey off, or one of them things as we go into lap number 2 or 3, whichever lap we're on. Plymouth is tiny, it's very easy to lose count. But yeah, Alfie Botel, he's out in front. Steve Worrell, he looks a bit faster than Alfie, but Alfie just made the better gate and he's just holding the right lines. Although it is getting very, very close now between these two. Alfie goes wide, Steve looking to come up the inside there, and Alfie though he's just about got this in the bag now over Steve, and it begs the question: what if, for as a Scorpions perspective?
I was going to say you were in a position to have got a heat advantage there, and it goes from a heat advantage to Scunny into a heat advantage to Plymouth. Alfie does sit still in that one. He makes a good gate, but he definitely rolled in the first one. And we're going to have a delay now because Alfie's going to be out for 2 on a trot. The result of heat number 5.
Oh my God!
5.
Yankovic's winning heat 19 here.
I ain't having that. Heat.
Oh bloody hell! Reserve. Sorry, carry on.
Heat 5 was won by Alfie Botel in red, second in white Steve Worrell, in third in blue Joe Thompson, 4-2 to Plymouth, 16 points to 14 in Plymouth's favour after 5. We've only had 5 races in 43 minutes. Jesus wept. Feels like we're going in slow motion or something.
We are a little bit, aren't we?
Stevie was napping at the start.
Yankovic's got a massive lead here. 2 seconds.
Who's he against?
That'll keep the Snapchat people happy. Apologies about that.
Who was he against?
He's beat Max Frick, somebody else, and the reserve who's coming for Vakulik.
So nobody of any goodness then?
Only Max Frick.
He's been
he beat Anders Thompson.
So yeah, he won a race with 3 shit riders.
He won the race he was probably expected to win.
Bloody hell, Plymouth log, they're yellow and blue. They've even got a big yellow and blue box going around the entire track. Screw logos or anything, who needs them?
Exactly.
Let's have a quick gander over to Berwick, see what's going on there. Heat 4, Geordie Loftus was replaced by Jonathan Grant, and Jonathan Grant took his second flag of the meeting from Peter Kilderman and Michael Palmtoff. Finished third ahead of Jack Smith for a 4-2 to Edinburgh to make the scores 13 points to 11. Heat 5 was won by Daniel Hume with Drew Kemp in second and Kai Thompson third. Victor Palavara at the rear, 5-1 to Berwick, and it makes the scores after 5, 18 points to Berwick and 12 points to Edinburgh.
And it does.
So Edinburgh struggling a bit. Palavara isn't enjoying the Berwick circuit too much. Luke's changed his bike. I thought Luke was looping that.
If I speak, I may get sacked.
Walk up to him on Monday, Loopy Luke.
Don't you threaten me with a good time. I've got the bloody best seat in the house. I've got the Plymouth meeting on here. I've got the GP on in the background. Right, and next door's having a barbecue that smells really, really nice. I might jump out the window after this and go join them.
At least it's not the zesty cigarettes, say. Heat number 6, gate 1 in red,
No.
Carl Howarth. Gate 2 in white, Jake Allen. Gate 3 in blue, Alfie Botel. And off the outside in yellow, Luke Harrison. Gate 4 is not working at the moment. Gate 2 is the place to be, which is where Jake Allen is. And it's been a long time since Carl Howarth was last on track.
Been a while, and it's been a while since Jake Allen's been on track as well, to be honest.
Carl was in 1, Jake got to wait until, what, 4?
Yeah, and to be fair, it's been a while since we've seen old Lukey Pie.
Everyone barring Alfie's could have had a 30-35 minute nap in the pits, to be honest.
I mean, to be fair, we are watching Plymouth. I'm on the brig as well.
Alfie's taking his sweet ass time, yeah.
I'd exclude him for a time delay. The start marshal walks away for race number 6. The tapes flights away we go, and it's a very good start there for Kyle Howarth. Jake Allen's there as well with him. Turkey Teeth goes down, but he goes down on his own there, and Luke Harrison in second. Jake Allen third. Kyle Howarth at the front, but red flags are out.
I don't know
red
why.
Flags are out.
I don't know why Alfie stayed down. 100% he goes for that. He went on his own.
Wasn't on the first bend either, was it? So
100% he goes for that. I don't know what he stayed down for. There's nobody. Jake's nowhere near him. He's well packed now, and there's nothing in that. He goes himself.
no.
And I don't think there's any bunching to be had either. The Reds didn't go straight on, so Botel should be excluded. When the Reds don't go straight on, you expect an exclusion.
100%. And we're getting another replay here, but if anything, either Botel had a very, very good start, or he had a very, very, very nudgy nibble just as the tapes went up.
Yeah, they went on very late. It should be a disqualification for Botel. She's got one right. Is she going to go back to back with right decisions?
I don't know. Don't bank on it.
Let's keep an eye on this one, shall we? All 4 back. Shocking decision, that. So she's had one right, and she shit the bed on the other one. Yeah, that's a bad decision. There's no...
Disappointing.
It's pissing it down. It's absolutely slaughtering it down.
Raining. This has got get to eat 10 and call it off on it.
They'll be lucky to get to eat 7 at this rate, let alone 10.
I know what the Scunthorpe bed is like when we're at places like Plymouth. Like, once we're here, we are coming back. So we'll be pushing to get it to heat 10, I would imagine.
The rain has come around about expected. It said it was supposed to start raining about 8. It's 10 minutes early, but it is around about the time they were expecting it to turn up.
I mean, if they just got on with the meeting quicker, we might not have been in this situation.
We'd be past heat 10 by now. But they've done all this fancy dancing around, haven't they?
If we was at Scunny, we'd be on heat 14 by now.
Might have even been finished if it was a good night.
Well, to be fair, I only said 14 because we've got this the children's race, haven't we?
You got a point. Shame Berwick weren't streaming tonight.
It is a bit, innit? They're showing us a replay.
What are we watching? 8:15, where Trigger has a massive nibble in the Bulls meeting that we did a watch along to and got them the second place that they needed. He still has a nibble there.
Yeah, he does, yeah. And Tom got close to Trigger and he stayed on his bike, so fair play to him. He could do it at National League level. Why can't he do it at the Championship? That is the question. Just to clarify, I've nothing against Tom Spencer. He's a very, very decent bloke. It's just very frustrating.
He does, yeah, I think he's over trying. He has fell off a lot this year. It's a bit like Jordan Jenkins. He's found the deck a bit this year as well.
He has. And it's sad to see, actually, because I've got a lot of time for Jordan. He's a decent lad, so...
Sounds like he's going to be out for a little while, though. I do question whether we'll see him again this season, to be honest.
I'd be very surprised.
The brollies are up, everyone's standing up. The stand is absolutely soaking wet, so if it's wet there, it's going to be wet on the dark stuff as well.
Just how we like it.
My man sat there in shorts. Why would you look at the weather forecast for Plymouth tonight and think, oh no, I'm going to go in shorts?
Because British speak, in it. Sorry, I'm just looking at a chat we're in with Mr. Wheeler, and he sent a funny video in there.
Oh God! I'll have a butcher's when we have a breather.
I might send. Well, I'm gonna send one back now.
Still got 10 people watching us or listening to us.
Fair play to them. They must have nothing better to do on a Saturday night.
Listen to two fat lads sit and want Chinese.
Oh, Chinese.
Do you regret the amount of money you spent on your Mackies the other day now that you could have spent on a Chinese or a kebab or something?
Absolutely.
And I bet that Mackies didn't feel much of a gap either, did it?
Not a lot of a gap, mush. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I was going to say, did you need to have anything else to eat that night, or did you not? Because if you didn't, then you filled it. If you did, then it was crap.
I mean, I had a little, like a Magnum lolly before I went to bed.
Is that because it was really warm, though?
Yes.
I think we can add a little dot on the tally now for the decisions the Trunchbull's got right and wrong. She's got one right and one wrong. Same for riders, same for gates. Rather fortunately for Plymouth, you've got to say.
Very, very fortunate for Plymouth, but it gives Jake Allen another chance to make a gate, because that was a bit of a rubbish gate, that one.
Richard Machin, I'd just like a good laugh. Is it off yet? It's not. They're at tapes for 8-6.
But we're at tapes for 8-6.
The track don't look too bad at the moment, as long as they don't have any more pissing around and they get on with it. Should get to 10 relatively safely. I think it's stopped.
Yankovic, for saying he's been crap in the GP, apologies for going off topic, he's made the last chance qualifier.
LCQ!
LCQ, this is what we want in British Speed, we're not just the GPs. The start marshal then getting the boys into order for race number 6 here at Plymouth, though. Walks away, the tapes rise, away we go. Alfie Botel's made a perfect start, but Jake Allen's got to that first bend, and Kyle Howarth pulled a massive locker there, and Jake Allen now looking to come up the inside there. Kyle Howarth, it's neck and neck going down turns 3 and 4. It's very, very close, and Kyle just lifts there, and he's just about got the lead over Jake Allen here. Oh, this is fantastic. I think Jake Allen might have been doing a little bit of grass tracking there. That was very, very, very close. And Alfie Bortels, that's not a million miles off Jake Allen. Luke Harrison's at the back. Luke Harrison's thinking, this track is crap. I want to go back home and work for the old man. Kyle Howarth's out there in front. Jake Allen now's almost settled in the second position. Luke Harrison was starting to put in a challenge on Alfie Botel here in for third and fourth. It's very, very close. Luke goes wide. Alfie just blocks Luke's line now, and this is going to be it settled. And the Gladiators' lead is going to be extended.
And that was all done from the start, really. Alfie and Carl made a good start. Carl was all sorts of out of shape. Come straight across the corner, smart from Jake to cut it back, but could have been carnage and could have been nasty as well, that.
To be honest, I think there was a little bit of grass tracking going on with Jake Allen. He was very, very, very close to both wheels over the white line.
Trunchbull's not seen it. The result of Heat 6, Carl Heath was the winner in red, second in white, Jake Allen, and third in blue, Alpha Boat out, 4-2 to Plymouth, 20 points to 16 in Plymouth's favour now. And Scunny needs something back in this next one from
Declan and Connor
against Lassie Fredrickson and probably Mitchell Clough.
Oh my God. There's some Scunny fans that have gone up. Poor geezers.
Poor sods. Good
What
start
did
from
you
Jake.
do when you sat? That was a perfect start, that from Jake, wasn't it?
That could have been
Kyle just...
carnage.
If Kyle didn't know what he was doing, that would have been absolute carnage. And he locked up there as well, coming off turn 4. And
Jake's off. Jake is on the grass.
Jake grass trapped.
Jake was over the line. If the ref had seen that or watched the replays back before giving that result, Jake Allen would have been excluded.
With the ref being as she is, she probably liked white lines herself. Did I just say that loud?
Heat 7, gate 1 in white, Declan Kennedy, gate 2 in red. Is Lassie Fredrickson, gate 3 in yellow, Connor Mountain, and off the outside, unbeaten from 2 rides so far, is Mitchell Clough. I'm going to also bank. Deck's going to miss the gate again here.
I'd put a mortgage on it if I had one.
Bloody hell, what a journey for them. Bloody is from Scunny to Plymouth, isn't it?
It's one hell of a journey from my house to the corner shop, and it's literally just across the road. I'm out of breath just at the thought of it.
I think we've stopped raining.
He's a bit of a... That was a bit of a chubby fella sitting on the second bend.
But we're here. We're not at Plymouth.
This skis would have made us look very, very thin. Almost as thin as a twig mush.
Oh.
So, heat number 7 then. The start marshal walks away. The riders look at the magnets, tapes, rides away we go. Deck didn't actually sleep at the start there, but it's Lassie Fredrickson that's got there first. Both Scorpions are there in the second and third positions with Mitchell Clough at the rear of the field. Fredrickson, though, it's coming under some pressure from Connor Mountain. Declan's there, it's almost settled there in the third place position. Mitchell Clough may as well have gone to Swindon or somewhere like that, a proper track. But as we come into the next lap, Fredrickson still leading, and Fredrickson again is a very good rider that goes under the radar quite a bit. So. But yeah, fair play to Lassie there as we come into the last place now and last lap, sorry, and it's going to be a 3-all, and yeah, that 4-point gap still going as we are as Fredrickson comes round to take the win there. Bartosz, have an engine failure now, please. Jankovic currently second in the LCQ and Smarslik's winning it. Because obs.
And is it just the one rider that goes through that?
Yeah. Correct. It's only Smarsly because had a bloody engine failure would have made our first final.
Good ride from Fredrickson there. Mitchell Clough's maximum goes kaput, and the result of Heat 7 was won by the rider in red, Lassie Fredrickson, second in yellow, Connor Mountain, and third in white, Declan Kennedy. Points divided 3 apiece, 23-19, the progressive score. Every time I hear that scoreline, I think of Monsters Inc. when we have a 23-19. I do like Monsters Inc. You think of the big ginger fella that gets shaved for having a sock on his back.
You mean Brady Kurtz?
Oh, Deck was nearly following Jake Allen's line then. A couple of the Scunny boys have done that now. And Daniel Klima's out quite quickly, actually. So it looks like we're going to be...
Do you reckon Daniel Klima's number 7?
No, what gives that away?
I don't know, maybe he's just stuck the bits of tape on the other side of his bike the wrong way around then.
Howarth and Allen...
Meant to be an L.
Winchester says, Howarth and Allen lucky to still keep those places. They both hit the white line. They did. But if you've got to let one of them keep it, you've got to let both of them keep it.
At the Trunchbull. Oh, heat number 8.
Are we at tapes? We sort of are.
Well, Half of us are.
Heat 8, Gate 1 in yellow is Zane Kennedy. Gate 2 in blue, Daniel Klima. Gate 3 in white, maybe harshly excluded last time out, Simon Lambert. And off the outside in red, the fella who caused his exclusion last time out, Alfie Botel. Alfie's off the only gate that's not had a race winner so far. And Daniel Klima's actually off the favourite gate.
Who would have thought? I'll tell you what, you could tell this GP is a little bit different. I've never seen a GP where Quebec and Huckenbeck have made the LCQs.
Crikey. British experience coming to their favour.
Yes. Anyway, back onto the meeting that actually matters. Dan, stop watching the GP. Jam Man's dream is over for another week.
Yeah, knock that off now. Nobody cares who wins that.
I'm just watching because I've got Bewley in a sweepstake. Well, I've got it on because I've got Bewley in a sweepstake. That's literally it. Literally why I'm watching. I've 50 quid on the line here. So, the two boys on the outside taking the time to get to tapes. Come on, Turkey Teeth. I'd have excluded you now if I were at ref. Startmaster walks away for heat number 8. The tapes look at the magnets. The tapes rise away goes. Zane Kennedy's made a beautiful start there once again. Simon Lambert's been left sleeping at the gates again, and now Botel's come round the outside there of Zane Kennedy. And to be fair, Klima's not a million miles off Kennedy as well. If Kennedy makes one mistake, Klima will be through. And Botel now going towards the outside of the track, and Kennedy looking to claim in on Alfie Botel, but I think Botel's just got big enough of a lead now to just ride this one out. And a big battle for second was Daniel Klima and Zane Kennedy. Klima's trying all sorts of lines to get round the inside of Kennedy, the inside, the outside. He's trying absolutely everything. We've got one lap left to go. Simon Lambert's at the back, and it's going to be a big last lap this for Zane, for Klima, and to be fair for Turkey Teeth himself there, but it's Alfie that just gets that.
One more lap, that would have been interesting. I think that should be Si's last ride of the night. He's crap.
He's not very good, is he?
And when you've got Zane Kennedy scoring the points he's scoring, but I'd expect Luke to only have one more ride, to be honest, as well. And,
We're in tactical territory now as well.
Yeah. Who's in 9?
Jake Allen and Luke Harrison.
I'd expect Steve Worrell to come in here, to be honest. Or...
So would I, to be honest.
It's 11 when Steve and Si are out together. Who are they against in that one? Although
Fredrickson and Clough.
There's no guarantee that 11 will be going on. It depends how much it's raining. So, result of 8 was a win for the rider in red, Alfie Botel. Second in yellow, Zane Kennedy. And third in blue, Daniel Klima. 4 points to 2 in Plymouth's favour. 27 points to 21, the progressive score. Yeah, I'd roll the tactical dice here and take Luke out of this one.
100%.
Who are they against?
Rider replacement and Joe Thompson.
And Joe's been crap, so yeah, you've got to play it now. Surely you play it now.
I would if I was Big Dave.
Or do you just play a normal substitute ride and put Zane in? Although you don't want to use any more rides than you need to for Zane, because if Luke's, as expected, probably just going to get one more, I don't expect Si to have any more, to be honest.
I don't, to be honest. If I'm completely honest with you.
And while we've got a moment, let's have a quick look over to Berwick. There is a tactical change in Heat 9. Lassie Fredrickson is the rider replacement in red, and Steve Worrell comes in as the tactical substitute for Luke Harrison in yellow.
That's Steve in yellow, yeah?
Yeah. Let's have a quick look at what's going on at Berwick. What heat were we on when I last said something? We were on Heat 5 we'd just had. Heat number 6 at Berwick was won by Peter Kildemand, with Sam Hagan in second and Michael Palmtoft in third. Jonathan Grant's maximum got straight out the window. Another 5-1 to Berwick after 6 races at Shieldfield Park. It's Berwick 23, Edinburgh 13.
And Lassie in red.
Peter Kildemand is in heat 7 as well at Berwick and has touched the tapes. He'll go off 15 metres in the rerun, and that result's just come in. It was won by Justin Sedgman, with Paco Castagna in second and Dow Wood in third. Peter Kildemand at the rear. 1 point to Berwick, 5 to Edinburgh, 24 points to 18 now after 7 races. I think
And
it's
we've
stopped
got
raining.
the final of GP coming up. Doyle's made it, Brady's made it, Dan Buell's made it, and to the surprise of nobody, someone from Poland's made it called Bartosz.
Oh.
And it's not the Smectala kind.
Heat number 9 at Plymouth is at tapes. Gate 1 in white is Jake Allen. Gate 2 in blue, Joe Thompson. Gate 3 in yellow, the tactical substitute for Scunny, Steve Worrell. And off the outside in red is Lassie Fredrickson, the rider replacement.
That it is. The start marshal then walks away and the tapes fly away. We go. So good start there for Joe Thompson. Steve Wall coming towards the outside. Jake Allen, beautiful move on the inside, and Fredrickson trying to replicate that move. Jake Allen says, "No, you're not, pal. This is my race." This, and Steve Wall now just about got up the inside there of Joe Thompson. A little bit of contact there with Steve and Joe, but Joe manages to stay on his machine. So Scunthorpe on the heat advantage, and Steve's got Lassie Fredrickson in his sights. Joe's got Steve Wall in his sights now, and there's a bit of contact there on the third bend, but all four of them stay on their motorcycle machines. Fredrickson's closing in on Jake Allen at the front, and this is a decent race. This, to be fair, for Plymouth. One mistake for Jake and Lassie's got to be through, as we've got one lap left to go then, and this is going to be a much needed heat advantage for the Scorpions. Fredrickson looks round to see who's there in the third place. He sees it's Stevie Wall. He says, "I'm going to twist my throttle and hope my bike goes faster." It gets him that second place.
I was expecting a couple of words between Steve and Joe there. Joe bombed up the inside. That looked personal after what Steve had done to Joe in the first turn. That looked like he meant that one.
100%.
Good ride from Jake, but you'd have expected more than a 4-2 out of that if you're a Scunny fan. Result of Heat 9 was a win for the rider in white, Jake Allen, second in red, Lassie Fredrickson, and third in yellow, Steve Worrell. 2 points to Plymouth, 4 to Scunny, 29 points to 25. The progressive score, we've still got 11 people watching us. If you're watching, get in the comments, give us a chin wag, give us your thoughts, give us your feedback. Feedback's always good.
100%.
I was expecting to go to 10 and be off, but I think it stopped raining. I think we'll be alright, to be honest.
I think we'll be alright for the rest of the meeting now, won't we?
Plymouth boys both
Yeah,
gated.
it was a that was a great start there from Joe. Jake just up the inside, easy as you like, and this move there from Fredrickson was alright as well. And yeah, I think it's at this point now, isn't it, where there's a bit of contact with Steve and Joe.
No contact at all there. Just a hard move, but I feel like Joe wanted to get, well, we don't see it, but I feel like there was a little bit of intent in Joe.
Mm.
And we're on to heat number 10.
We are.
Gate 3's been decent in the last few. I don't think, certainly not from the gate, I don't think it's going to win this one from the gate. Heat number 10, Gate 1 in yellow, Connor Mountain. Gate 2 in blue, Alfred Botel. Feels like we saw Alfred Botel a lot tonight. This is his 5th ride. Gate 3 in white, Declan Kennedy. And off the outside in red, Carl Howarth. Still unbeaten from 2 rides, although he was lucky not to put Jake Allen over the safety fence in the last one.
So update, if you're watching from Ipswich, Jason Doyle's had a bit of a fall in the final of the GP. Hopefully Doyle is alright. He looks in a bit of pain.
It's just been one of them seasons for Doyle, isn't it?
It's a shame it happens to a rider that's got such a good racing number. On a selfish point of view, though, for a financial point of view, it gives Bewley another go, because I've got a lot of money on him and he made a shit start. Anyway, back to the meeting that matters. Heat number 10 at tapes then. Start marshal walks away. Riders look at the magnets. Away we go. Deck made a decent start there, but it's Connor Mountain that gets to the first. Kyle now going really, really wide there, and Connor's still just about has the lead. He's got to ride very defensively. His maximum man Kyle Howarth's on his case, and Kyle just about to come round the outside there of Connor Mountain, and now. Alfie Botel's gone so wide. Declan now looking to come up the inside of Alfie Botel. Not quite worked out for him just yet. So it's going to be a big battle this, because Connor's not giving up on Kyle yet. These two were teammates last season, would you believe it? And now they're going absolute hammer and tongue at the worst track in the country. But yeah, we've got one lot left to go of this race now, and it looks like a fairly settled 4-2. Now, to be fair, and I think it's safe to say you was expecting a big Scunny. Well, you was expecting a Scunny win, but I kind of had a gut feeling we'd have a performance like this.
Yeah, to be fair, Kyle Howarth was an inspired choice of guest. Nicola Klimt wouldn't have been doing this, let's be honest.
No.
But I think the rest of the team were there for the taking, and Scunny have just been shit, to be honest. Heat 10 was won by Kyle Howarth, second in yellow Connor Mountain, and third in blue Alfie Botel, 4-2 to Plymouth, 33 points to 27 with 10 gone.
To be fair, right, as a Scunny supporter, we've got past 20 points away from home. This is basically a win.
Leonard, still listening. Good community last bend. Last heat decide. Off to grass track meeting tomorrow.
So while we've got a minute there, I'll take you through the commentary of the final and of the GP, and Brady Kurtz has made it in the first place, but Brady goes really, really right there, and that allows Dan Bewley. Dan Bewley's not really got the chance to go up the inside. Smarglik there's now trying to blast himself around the outside of Dan Bewley, and Smarglik, dumb Bewley. This isn't what we like to hear, but Kurtz is currently winning over his big title rival, and that's virtually all she wrote now. I think Brady's got this one in the bag, and he's going back-to-back GP wins now. Bewley's just there in the third place, just because why not? And yeah, it's very, very settled now. We've just got one lot left to go in the final of the Swedish GP. Brady Kurtz. I hate to say this because of James Jessup. He's been a revelation in the GPs this year. He's done really, really well, and he's a very, very, very well-deserved winner of the meeting. And yeah, so Brady Kurtz has won the GP. I could turn it off now so I can focus on the actual meeting that matters.
His size
Like
supposed to be
Eric.
in yellow in 11, because he's not saying
He is.
Zane's in.
Since when did Scunthorpe managers make good decisions?
Quick update from Berwick. Heat number 8, Jonathan Grant came in for Geordie Loftus, and heat 8 was won by Kai Thompson, with Jonathan Grant in second and Sam Hagan third. 1 point to Berwick, 5 to Edinburgh, 25 points to 23 progressively now, and heat 9, Geordie Loftus replaces Jonathan Grant.
That he does.
Richard says, have to disagree, Leicester's dog. I assume that was to your comment about the worst track in the country. Heat 11, Gate 1 in red, Lassie Fredrickson. Gate 2 in white, Steve Worrell. Gate 3 in blue is Mitchell Clough, and off the outside in yellow, Zane Kennedy.
That it is.
We watched a meeting from Leicester on Thursday, and it was okay.
Not the worst meeting in the world, was it?
We've had worse.
We have. We've just got to get the start marshal to get these boys into order, because they'll take all day.
Mitchell Clough's only just coming out, and he's cutting it very fine. All these boys are ready to go. Mitchell could have they're being set back. He's been excluded. Reds are on. Mitchell Clough's disqualified. He's out. It's too late.
Too late, Mitch.
Reds are on. 2 minutes are back on. Mitchell Clough's disqualified. And he's still come to the tapes, ready to go. He's out. Reds have come on. I don't know what he's moaning for. If you'd have been there on time, mate, none of this would have happened, would it?
Not hard, is it?
and fresh 2 minutes. It'll be interesting to see what Gary May does here. I'd imagine Daniel Klima will come in.
Maybe Ben Trigger, or is that a little bit too soon?
He's too busy getting ready to come out and take Zane's bike off him after he's finished this race and sort it out ready for his next one.
What a boy.
To be fair, this track looks like it's been set up with a line on more for the outside. The Scunny boys, it gives me vibes of when Birmingham were at Oxford last week or the week before. It was giving me vibes of that where they were all riding the inside and the line was out wider. Surely
Yeah,
it's
for
not
sure.
free riders only. To be fair, we've got to be halfway through this 2 minutes.
We can't be a million miles off, can we?
That's a nice light, and Daniel Klima does come in blue for the disqualified Mitchell Clough. And he's now gone from 2 wins and unbeaten after 2 to scoring sod all from his next 2. Richard says Scunny's the best track in the country by far. Workington for me, to be honest.
I respect your comments, sir. Tapes rise then for heat number 11, and it's a good start there for Lassie Fredrickson. Kennedy looks to come up the inside. Worrell round the outside, but Worrell's just got there, so it's the Scorpions on a 4-2 heat advantage as it stands. But now what can Kennedy do? Kennedy's looking to come up the inside there of Lassie Fredrickson. It's not quite worked out for him yet. Scorpions on a 4-2 with Daniel Klima at the rear of the field, although Klima's now looking to put a bit of pressure onto Zane Kennedy. And this is not a bad race, to be fair. This is, I think now the first 2 are settled. I think Steve's got this one in the bag. Fredrickson in second. In second, and Zane's there in the 3rd place. He in the 3rd place. I do apologise. I'm getting my words a little bit mixed up. I've had a couple of beers because you need beers, but it was a 4-2 to Scunny.
And that was all done from the start, really. Good start and a good back straight from Steve. Lassie tried to push him wider. Stevie got his big boy pants on, went round the outside, good ride. Maybe that'll inspire a little bit of a Scunny fight back.
We're only 4 points down now. Let's go.
And it's going to have to be one of the 2 reserves to take the RR in the last one as well. Heat number 11, the result was a win for the rider in white, Steve Worrell, 2nd in red, Lassie Fredrickson, and 3rd in yellow, Zane Kennedy. 2 points to Plymouth, 4 to Scunny, 35 points to 31 progressively. I'd imagine it will probably be Mitchell Clough because the other one of the 2 is going to be in the race. Which one's in it?
Klima.
So it will be Mitchell Clough as the RR.
It's going to have to be. It's going to have to be Clough
against
Declan Kennedy and Luke Harrison.
Well, Zane will be in there for Luke, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and I think they'll put Luke out in 14.
To be honest, I'd have probably sacrificed Luke there and just gave Zane the rest of the meeting, the rest of his rides.
That would have made sense, wouldn't it?
I'd have probably sacrificed him in the hope Steve would have won it, which he did.
100%.
And to be fair, Zane was off the unfavoured gate 4, so I'd have just sacrificed Luke in that, to be honest.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think we're having another break, but there's no UDs or anything up, so I think we've got through the worst of the weather. At the moment, there's no planned watch-alongs for next week, but this is us, it could always change. Hoping my team Sheffield run next season. Heard a few rumours. So have we.
So have we.
To be honest, I'd be happy if your team Sheffield see this season out, let alone running next season.
And I mean, I don't like to be a bearer of bad news here, but when I was at Redcar last week, I was talking to Graham Trollope, who does the track at Sheffield. And he virtually confirmed to me, he says if Sheffield don't have a buyer at the end of this year, that they won't be there next year. So there's still a little bit of hope, but you know, who wants to plough money into a speedway club?
But with British Speedway changing the way it's expected to next season, maybe there'll be. I don't know. Maybe there's some. You're never going to find a buyer when you're not advertising for it. They're doing it all secretively.
Oh no!
What if you advertise that you're up for sale, and then someone, a consortium or something, comes in and says, "Yeah, we'll chip together, we'll buy it." If you're not advertising and you're just approaching people sort of behind the scenes, how are people supposed to know that the club's up for sale?
Exactly.
And I don't think this is the first time that Sheffield's been up for sale and we've not been told about it. There is another club up for sale as well, or another club's owner that's actively looking for. Luke keeps his spot here. There's another club's owner that's actively looking to sell from the Premiership, and they're not advertising either. Mitchell Clough comes in red as expected.
As expected. So, heat number 12 will nearly be finished.
We're on the home straight now, aren't we?
We're nearly there, boys. We're nearly there. I can go to the shop and get some beers after this.
Celebrationary ones or commiserationary ones?
Both.
Oh, I hate to say this looks tough for Scunny on paper, this one.
You watch now, Deck will make the start. That's Zane in yellow.
That is Zane in yellow. It is. Zane comes in for Deck. Heat 12, gate 1 in red, Mitchell Clough, gate 2 in yellow, Luke Harrison, gate 3 in blue is Daniel Klima, and off the outside in white is Zane Kennedy, replacing his brother. So he's got 2 gate 4s on the bounce. The worst gate, and he's in it again. What has he done to upset Mr. Howe?
Probably said some Australian slang.
Starts talking about the Foster's advert that's appeared on the telly again.
Good call. The tapes rise for M4 heat number 12. It's a very good start there for the rider in blue, Daniel Klima. Luke Harrison's gone down.
Carnage.
And it's a bit tight going down the second bend, and the red flags are out.
Let's see how consistent this ref is now, because that was more bunching than when Alfie went down earlier, and Alfie was back in. So let's see how consistent the Trunchbull is now, because that was more bunching than when Alfie went. Luke made a good start as well.
He did.
He gets cleaned up. I don't know what he's supposed to do there.
I'd exclude Clough for that.
It should be all four.
Me.
It should be all 4 back, but with this ref, you never do know, do you? But Alfie Botel got put back in the rerun for less contact than that, so Luke should be in the rerun as well.
Definitely.
And he did get up. He's now took a seat. He's just having a couple of minutes. I'm sure he's not giving Andy a chance to get his bike sorted or anything like that.
Oh no, Andy don't know what he's doing with bikes.
Sad times for the sport. Can't believe the number of tracks that have gone. It is, but if this is what it's going to take to make them realise that this format is no longer viable in this country of two professional leagues and a national league, then it'll be all for the greater good, because I do think this will be the last time we see Speedway in this country, certainly for now, the way that we know it. I think we will finally go into a one big league format next season at championship standard.
Have to. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, it really is that simple. If they don't, we'll lose more clubs. It's not viable. The crowds have dipped, particularly in the Premiership. The price is too high. The big names like your MLs and that aren't bringing the punters in like you'd be hoping they are. It's like you said to me, you need to take a step back to take 2 forward in the long run.
That's become my new phrase now. For absolutely everything, you've got to take a step back to take 2 forward. Yeah. But look, it's like when you've got your likes of Emil and Doyle and that in the same team, for your first season, people are going to come out and support it. Of course they are. But you know, this is like the third or fourth season I've been there. Fair play to him for commitment to British Speedway, but the novelty ends up wearing off, and it wears off very quickly.
100%,
And
yeah.
unfortunately, as well, we're in a cost of living crisis at the minute. You know, people can't afford to pay 20-25 quid to get into Speedway meetings.
Plus your
So
programs and everything else as well.
exactly, you know, I mean, in an ideal world, right? And this is going to sound horrible, but we ought to have what I call the Sheffield way of doing things before the Bateses took over. It was about, well, we're talking about 12, 13 years ago when it was only about 13 quid to get in. But it was 13 quid to get in, and you got handed a card, race card. That was your program, and it was included in your admission. And if you did it, if you did it that way, I'm not saying you get more punters in, but
It's costing less money. Your programs are costing less to be produced, so you're not having to sell them. You give them away, you get a few more in. Everyone's got a scorecard. It might get, because me and you are used to filling in scorecards, but your Joe public that comes in aren't going to know what to do with a scorecard, and you know, neither of us can watch Speedway without filling in a scorecard now. But if you've got
no.
just a standard person coming in off the street that doesn't know how to do that, that don't get as invested.
Mm.
And it is all fall back for the
100%.
rerun. I was just having a good giggle at Jake Allen giving David Howe a wet willy on the camera.
Oh, Jake, never change, pal. So,
Prices are too high. A lot of the rules, especially when you're trying to explain to newbies, the rules. Just look at Scunny's program. You know all too well Scunny's programs. They're so basic, but then they're like what, £1 or whatever it is.
I think they've gone up to £1.50 this year.
But then you've got some
But
clubs charging £3.50, £4 maybe for the program, and you only really want a scorecard. Who sits and reads the full program?
I mean, I know I'm a bit of a program collector and I fill them in and everything, but other than that, all I do with them is I take them into the bog with me, and when I'm having a poo, it's a little something to flick through.
Gives you a break from TikTok.
Sometimes my phone dies. That Marshall then walked away for heat number 12. Takes flight. Oh my
What a
God! Daniel
fire!
Tamer had an absolute nibble there. If
And
Christina don't turn,
Zane's done him.
Zane's done him. Nice move from Zane there. And now what can Luke Harrison do? Luke's going Billy Big Bollocks round the outside. Can he get? He's very close to Mitchell Clough here. And Zane Kennedy, though, out in front, just what the Scorpions needed. But Luke could have done with being in a scoring position, because each 13 looks quite tough for a Scunthorpe perspective here. I do apologise as well if I come across a little bit biased. Scunthorpe's my team, so you know, obviously I want them to do well. I'm very, very surprised that didn't get called back, to be honest. We've got one left to go, though, and Luke is still trying, but he's not getting anywhere near Mitchell Clough here, and it's going to be a free all, and it's still going to be a 4-point gap.
I think you've imagined a bit of movement from Klima. He guessed that spot on. There was nothing before the tapes. He just got a perfect start. I think you've imagined the movement, to be honest. Do want to see it again, but
I'd be interested to see the replay.
My gut instinct was that it was just a good start and that you imagined any movement. Winchester, you're delayed. Heat 12 is 3 laps old. Well, pick or choose whether you're watching theirs or listening to ours. It's not really difficult much. There's always going to be a delay on a YouTube stream compared to the TV one. The result of 12 was a win for the rider in white, Zane Kennedy. Second in blue was Daniel Klima, and third in red, Mitchell Clough. Luke Harrison at the rear of the field, although not through lack of effort. 3 points apiece, 38-34 progressively. Scunthorpe have got the right idea for the programmes, and a quid sometimes note to park as well. Yeah, some tracks there was nothing wrong with that start. Sometimes, is it Ryan Anderson that complains about Glasgow's 4 quid to park? Well, they ain't worried about a rain. I've got the kids out. 5 quid to park. Oh my God. Yeah, you love a good kids race on the centigrade, don't you?
I think my phrase to Mr. Godfrey every time we have a kids race is, "Can you get me a gun so I can shoot them?"
Or get you some of the sweets that they're having.
Oh, last meeting we had, right? All the kids took all the sweets. There was none left for the track staff.
And certainly none left for the centre
Fuming.
green presenter.
You know, the most important member of the track staff there, keeping your crowd in the loop with everything that's going on, probably deserves a sweetie or two.
Have you got them doing the Mexican wave yet? The
You've given
Lincolnshire
me
wave.
You've given me an idea for Friday.
You get them doing the Lincolnshire wave. Here's you running up and down to go to follow. They're all stood there waving at you like they're saying goodbye or something. Richard says doubling up is killing the sport as well. They have to earn a living, but the thing is, there's not enough riders in the country that race to not have doubling up. You either weaken the championship to a point where it's basically a national league with a couple of extra riders, or you take money out of riders' pockets and they go and race elsewhere where they can earn some money. But I don't think doubling up will be a thing next season anyway. There'll be one big competitive championship standard league with place in the Premiership, and then you'll have a national league for up and coming riders or riders that don't get the championship spots.
For sure. And to be fair, I was talking to my driving instructor about this earlier. I love having a driving instructor that's a Scorpions fan. We just do that, but talk Speedway for the hour while I just drive along. It's mint. And obviously, yeah, we sort of know the expected format that's meant to be coming in. And I was saying to driving instructor Steve, maybe we should have trialled that format in the National League first. But something has to change for the future of the sport. And you know, I know a lot of Speedway supporters tend to be, without trying to sound rude here, but they tend to be elder kind of statespeople, that don't really like change as much. But as we've said, you know, sometimes to progress and take steps forward, you've got to take a couple of steps back.
And on that note, shall we take a couple of minutes to regain our breath and for you to have a beer or something?
I need another wee, so that sounds like a cracking idea.
We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Hello again, everybody. We've just come back from our little break. We are delighted to be working with half the Scunthorpe team. We're working with Simon Lambert. We're working with Jake Allen. We're working with Declan Kennedy. I don't think there's anybody else in the Scunny team we're working with.
We're working
Don't
with the
think.
Scunny team.
We're working with the Scunny team as well. So yeah, and obviously we're working with Connor King, Plymouth hero Ben Barker, unfortunately on the sidelines. Connor King, I think I've already mentioned him.
You forgot the two important ones.
Oh, and the Piper boys. I knew there was somebody I was missing. Save the best. Save the best till last.
Took your way out of that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to. It's an absolute pleasure to work with them guys, and we are always looking out for more work in the social media or graphics kind of environment. So if you're interested, or you know of anybody that's interested in graphics work or social media work, Facebook, we are D&D Media on there. D little nerd, then a capital D, then media. Just give us a message on there, or our email dndmediaspeedway@gmail.com, and we could sort something out.
There is a message that's coming here from Rob Gaffney. I'll read it out. After 13 or after 14, before 15, but there's a conversation that we can have about this one, and I'd be interested to see people's thoughts on it actually as well. But it's about admission prices for Speedway in general. But we've got the riders out for 13. Could
I'm
be
going to say we're a bit...
Could be 15.
Possibly.
Yeah, could be. Heat number 13, gate 1 in white, Steve Worrell. Gate 2 in red, still unbeaten so far, Kyle Howarth. Gate 3 in yellow is Jake Allen, and off the outside in blue is Lassie Fredrickson. Palmer, I don't want to tempt this, but this is usually the race where Jake Allen has his customary mare. He always has one of them in the meeting.
Is it just me, or in that picture does Kyle Howarth look like a serial killer?
So lock up your Cocoa Pops and your Frosties.
You can leave the Rice Krispies out though, we don't mind them.
We've still got 10 people watching us.
Fair play to the 10 people watching us.
Or listening to us.
Well, same thing in it. The Trunchbull there, Googling why she made the wrong decision earlier. Google's not going to help you, love.
But Dan
Start
might.
Marshall. Oh, I will. Start Marshall walking away from the big heat number 13. Kyle Howarth had a right nibble there.
Has he touched
and it's the two Scorpions. I don't think he has, but the two Scorpions boys are out in first and second. This is a massive shock to the Bucks, and now these two boys really need to T-ride. Don't let him through, Steve, you knob end. Good boy, well done. Jake Allen's there out in front. I do apologise, Steve, you're not a knobhead. I love you, really. But yeah, Jake Allen out there in front, Steve Wall second, and 2024 Scorpion, Kyle Howarth in the third place position, and Lassie Fredrickson paying the price for making a mistake in the first couple of bends in the last lap. Jake Allen and Steve Worrell leading by absolute example. My heart is healing very, very slowly. Kyle, don't go breaking it again. I thought we were pals, mate. But Jake Allen riding an absolute dream here. I think he heard you, Dill, saying that he normally has a mare in 13, and we are back equal at Scunthorpe, right back in this now.
I want to see if Carl touched tapes there. Referee played the advantage, fair play, but I'd be interested to see if Carl touched them.
I don't think he touched them, but he had a very, very good nibble.
He was close if he didn't, yeah. And we're back level at 39 apiece. To be fair, I'd probably have to favour Scunny in 14 as well. David Howe said in the interval actually just now that he wanted minimum 4-2 out of that race. He's got himself a 5-1. Heat 13 was won by the rider in yellow, Jake Allen. Second in white, Steve Worrell. And third in red, Carl Howarth. 1 point to Plymouth, 5 to Scunthorpe. 39 points apiece with 2 to go. Let's see that start again. If he don't touch them, he's damn lucky. This isn't the angle we need. There we go.
That's the angle we want. We see the little start marshal just walks away. He doesn't.
Ooh, they've
Very, very close.
They've just gone up before we touched him. If they'd have gone up a split second later, he's through him. I thought Steve was getting passed by both of them there, to be honest.
So did I. I sincerely apologise, by the way, for calling Steve a knobhead. Steve, if you're listening, you're not a knobhead. I do love you, but you nearly messed up in that one, pal.
Is Mitchell Clough programmed in this one?
Yes.
Heat number 14, gate 1 in blue, Mitchell Clough. Gate 2 in white is Connor Mountain. Gate 3 in red is Joe Thompson. And off the outside in yellow for the third time, off gate 4, Zane Kennedy.
What has Zane Kennedy done to upset David Howe tonight?
I know, it's shocking, isn't it?
But Zane can win off gate 4.
Joe Thompson's been a real disappointment tonight, to be honest. But he's, to be fair, Connor's off the favoured gate.
I'm surprised Joe's in this one, to be honest.
Yeah.
Kleemer's not done too bad, to be fair, tonight, has he?
5 points from 5 rides.
Which isn't too bad, is it?
But knowing Speedway, this is the race that Joe will trap in and just clear off. And it wouldn't even be that shocking.
I'm just saying, Heat 13, you said Jake Allen would have a mare.
And it worked in Scuddy's favour, so let me say this to Joe. No, Joe ain't going to win. No, Joe is going to win. Joe's going to lap everyone.
That Marshall, they're getting the boys ready for heat number 14. Walks away, the tapes rise. Joe's gated. And Joe has gated, to be honest. You said this is going to happen, but the two Scuddy boys are in second and third place positions. And Zane Kennedy now, he's got his eyes set on Joe Thompson, whereas Mitchell Clough's got his eyes set on Connor Mountain, although Clough doesn't really have much room there on Connor. Clough goes wide, and Joe Thompson's out there checked out. He could go get himself burger and chips or something from Mackey's. And this looks very, very settled, and we're looking like a last heat decider at the minute, boys. But yeah, Joe Thompson proving why he should have stayed in heat 14. I was very surprised to still see him in there. Mitchell Clough's gone backwards all throughout the course of the meeting after a very good heats 2 and 3. He's just gone backwards, and Joe just gated, and that was that.
Yeah, good ride by Joe there, to be honest, as we expected him to do, to be fair, gate, and he got out there, and despite Zane's best efforts, he couldn't quite make up the ground. And Joe makes his score look a little bit respectable, over doubles his score with one race.
Ooh.
Now, who do you go with in 15 if you Plymouth? The result of 14 was won by the rider in red, Joe Thompson. Second in yellow, Zane Kennedy. And third in white, Connor Mountain. Points divided 3 apiece. Ties us up at 42 apiece. Going into 15. For me, it's probably got to be Kyle Eworth and Alfie Botel for Plymouth. I think Fredrickson's been there or thereabouts, but I don't think he's looked overly impressive at any point.
To be honest, I think the Scunny 2 are almost right themselves.
I don't know. I could maybe make an argument for Zane over Stevie, because although Steve got second, that was predominantly from the gate.
Zane and Jake were the two that rights themselves.
You reckon? I reckon David Howe goes for Stevie and Jake for the experience. But he did hint at the fact... Carry on.
Zane's got one more ride left he could use.
David Howe did hint at the fact that he was planning to go with 1 and 3 in 15 because he's got the choice because of Plymouth winning the toss.
100%.
Kyle will be in there, and he should be on a warning after the last one as well. But we've got a moment. Rob Gaffney, would half in the admission prices mean twice as many coming in? I don't know if you can guarantee twice as many would come in, but I think halving the admission may lure people into bringing more people along with them.
It's something that I do want to speak with Rob Godfrey about. I just need Rob Godfrey to listen to me for once. Because I'm not saying you're gonna get another 500 people coming in at paying £10. But if we could advertise it and say we've got a special offer on at such and such a meeting, only £10 to get in, will it enhance more people to come for a cheaper night out than say £50 for the family when you can come out for, well, £50 for a couple, when you can come out for £20 for the couple. Do you know what I mean? So,
I don't think
you
it'd
know,
drop to a tenner. I'd personally be putting the point in of £15 a person for adults and under 16s free. 15
or
quid
to
is
be
more
honest,
than enough. 15 races, £1 a race, you spend your money on a programme or a race card or spend it at the bar or whatever. £1 a race, do that for a while, see if it gets people in, and then you know if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you need to try something different.
and and obviously in this day and age in which we live, I mean, obviously everybody knows Speedway's heyday was in the 70s and the 80s when they had thousands of people in meeting. But what else was there to do back then? I think the thing where Polish Speedway excels at is it's aimed at the younger audience. Like there's an up to date app on there. You can download the match program and you can read it on your phone. You can, you've got access to everything on your phone, and I believe they're developing games and everything over in Poland. That's why it's so attractive. Whereas over here, you've got a circle in a field, or in Plymouth's case, you've got a donut in a field. It just doesn't attract like the big stadiums. It is Steve and Jake.
As I think we expected, to be honest.
That's harsh on Zane Kennedy, if you ask me.
Nah, he's had 6 rides already. He's scored well, but you want the experience for me, and it is Carl and Alfie. We called that one pretty much spot on. Richard says £57 at Sheffield with a programme and parking for 2 people. It's an expensive night out, and if you're out for Speedway, some people will eat while they're out or go for food at the track, or you have a drink at the track. It soon goes into 65-70 quid for a night out on a Thursday night in the middle of the week. Is very expensive for, let's be honest, what British Speedway Top League has been this season, a mediocre product at best.
And I mean, I'm very fortunate in a way that I'm employed by Scunthorpe to do what I do there, and I'm very fortunate that before the meeting I have a free pint, I can have a free burger and everything. But I went to Redcar last week for the National League meeting there, and they got it bob on. National League Speedway, where it was a triple header really, £10 to get in, absolute bargain. They had the food vans open, and the food was relatively priced there as well. I know you can't really do a lot with the track when it's red hot and you have to keep watering it. But overall, it was a banging day out for £10. And the meetings wasn't that bad either.
It's the same gates for Scunny as the 5-1 in 13. Quick review of the lineup of 15. Gate 1 in white, Steve Worrell. Gate 2 in red, Carl Howarth. Gate 3 in yellow, Jake Allen. And off gate 4 in blue is Alfie Botel. A shared heat would be a super heat. Any form of heat advantage for either team will take the win.
Have you ever had that? Have you ever had that nervous feeling in your stomach when your good team going into a last heat decider?
We're either going to have Palmer jumping off his bed and injuring himself again, buzzing, or we're going to have him crying into his pillow like somebody we know.
Who ironically is a Plymouth fan who could then go screaming into his pillow when Scunny hopefully get a nice little 4-2.
You've got a good point there, yeah. Richard says that's without food and fuel. Of course, yeah, you have to look at fuel and travel costs and all that as well, and it is expensive for essentially 15 minutes of racing. But don't forget though, you get a few tractor grades, you get a couple of minutes of that as well.
I mean, well, anybody that knows me knows I'll go. I watch any level of speedway anyway, but it is getting quite expensive, especially when I travel by train as well a lot now as well. It's quite expensive. Anyway, Heat 15. Dan, compose yourself, pal. Startmaster walks away. He takes fly, away we go. Steve Wowell's got there first and Jake Allen's got there in the second place position. What can Kyle Howarth do now? Kyle Howarth is there, but it's the Scorpions on a massive 5-1. This is absolutely brilliant. I'm not going to cream my underpants just yet though, because Kyle Howarth is a very good rider. But Jake Allen's got this one. They're both the Scorpions boys. They're looking for each other. They're pointing to each other. Kyle's gone down. Kyle's gone down. I think that was a tactical fall off from Kyle.
Reds are straight on. He's going to get excluded. The worst case scenario is now a 3-all. He's going to go for that. He's gone on his own. Leonard says, good job, catch you Lex live meeting. We don't know when that'll be yet. Carl's gone himself. Has his bike gone there? He straightened up very quickly, but he'll be excluded for that. What lap were we on? The Scunny, but the Reds came straight on, so I wouldn't expect that to be awarded. What were we on, lap 2?
I think that was the second lap.
Coming into the third?
Yeah. I don't quite think the Scunny boys are in the third lap, so
nah, the Reds came straight on.
I don't think it can be awarded just yet.
I don't think she'd award it based off of the scoreline either. They could still get a 3-all out of it, but for me,
there was still racing
there was no
to be
race.
done.
There wasn't. Alfie was miles away. Alfie, while catching them, Alfie could have had 2 bikes and a rocket up one of them, and he still wouldn't have caught him. Carl's done his job though. 3 wins. He moved in Heat 30. He's gone crap when it counts the most. 13, he had a big move and screwed it up, and he's just fell off in 15. You know
what the ironic thing is?
What?
He did exactly that when he rode for his opponents. Lassie Fredrickson looks like a girl. Tell me Lassie Fredrickson doesn't look like a woman.
I love the sport, but it's expensive now. And Rob says, think how I've been it because Scunny were on a 5-1. It looks like something went on his bike. His bike straightened up really quickly.
It could well have been a chain.
It did look like something had gone. Either his engine seized up or his chain went. His bike straightened up really quick.
And if you want a fun fact, I don't want to get ahead of myself here because Alfie Bortel could just P1SS this.
Yeah.
But this could very well be Scunthorpe's first win at Plymouth since 2007.
Bloody hell. Quick look at what was the last race I gave you from Berwick?
I'll be honest with you, boss. I can't remember.
I just said Geordie Loftus was coming into Heat 9. So Heat 9, the result was won by Drew Kemp. Second, Mog Palmtofton. Third, Daniel Hume. A 4-2 to Berwick. Made it 29-25. Heat number 10 was Daniel Hume taking the rider replacement, and it was won by Paco Castagna with Justin Sedgman in second and Daniel Hume third. A 1-5 in favour of Edinburgh. Heat number 11 was won by Peter Kilderman with Victor Palavara second and Kai Thompson third. A 3-all, making it 33 apiece. And heat number 12, Jonathan Graham was disqualified for a fall, was won by Jack Smith, Justin Sedgman second and Daniel Hume third. We're now into heat 13 at Berwick, and we're waiting for the rerun of heat 15 here, with Carl Haworth rightly disqualified, and Scunny have got to do it again. But if there's any rider that can pop out of the gate, albeit off the unfavoured gate 4, it is Alfie. He's got it in him to do it.
It is. Yeah, certainly can.
Scunny boys just need to do what they did. They've got the entire inside to play with, and there's all the pressure on Alfie now. And to be honest, if Scunny don't win from here, there needs to be some serious questions asked.
But this is Scunthorpe.
We've got 15 watching. This is the most we've had all night, just as we're about to finish.
Everybody just wants to hear me going Nigel Pearson sort of style commentary on this.
when Jake and Steve both bid it on the last turn and Alfie gets 3-0.
Yes, you know it's going to happen. I've got them nervous butterflies in my stomach again. I hate Speedway sometimes.
Rob says 100-mile round trip and 40 quid for me to go to Scunny, so just can't go every week. The rerun of Heat 15, Steve Worrell gate 1, no one off gate 2, Jake Allen gate 3, Alfie Botel off gate 4. All Jake needs to do is send Alfie really wide on the first and second turn and they can get away, and it should be job done for the Scorpions.
Hopefully so. But yeah, you never know what's going to happen, do you? You know, as the saying goes, in Speedway, nothing's ever the same second time round.
It's true. It's true.
But I'd like us to take a win so I can message a certain Plymouth supporter and just be like, that was a good meeting, mush.
Just wait for him to lose his SH1T.
Mate, I'm hoping he sends me a video of him screaming into a pillow like he did to you that time.
Hello, Winchester. How you doing, darling?
How you doing, Rush? So, heat number 15 then. As I'm sure at Plymouth the final countdown's probably blasting because that's the Speedway law. The start marshal walks away then. The tapes fly, away we go. Jake Allen's made an absolute beautiful start. Steve Worrell's there with him once again. Alfie Bortel now looking to do a little bit of grass tracking up the inside. It's not quite worked out for him. Jake Allen and Steve Worrell are going to be the heroes for Scunthorpe below. Alfie Bortel's all over the back of Steve Worrell now here. Jake Allen's got this one though, almost wrapped up in the bag. Bortel goes wide, trying to pick up some speed, and if anything, Steve Worrell's now extended his lead over Alfie Bortel. Bortel's trying absolutely everything round the outside, and Worrell's just blocking his line perfectly. Now it's very, very close between all three of them. This is a fantastic race, but two Scunthorpe boys just need to team ride this one together to take this one home. Jake just goes under some bumps. Jake's holding the outside run. Steve's holding the inside run. Run last lap.
Alfie's gone.
Botel's gone down. Botel's gone down. The Reds haven't gone on straight away either, so this got a bit, well, they're on now, but that's going to be a 5-0 to Scunny, and we've won it. Oh, we've got a one. I could cry.
Alfie was quicker than both there. He was miles quicker than both of them. He was making a line work that neither of the Scunny boys wanted to do. Alfie looks like he's hurt himself, and obviously he couldn't now get back on and run it because he's A, not under power, and B, he's been lapped. And Scunny do take the win on the night.
Very well deserved win there, with a little bit of help from Ben Trigger.
But that feels sweet for Triggs. The result of Heat 15 was a win for the rider in yellow, Jake Allen. Second in white, Steve Worrell. No finishes in third or fourth, with Carl Howarth and Alfie Botel being disqualified. And it's a 5-0 to Scunny to give us one of them funny scores. Plymouth 42, Scunthorpe 47. Alfie was quicker. As soon as he went right around there, that you knew that was going to end with him coming off. And he creates the fence.
100%.
Yeah, it's one of them. It's a good result for Scunny though, and a needed result for Scunny as well. And it's advantage Scunny now. With all due respect to Plymouth, you'd expect Scunny to win.
100%. Oh, come on, stream. Show the score again. I forgot what it was already, and I need to tell all my Snapchat friends.
Scunny boys have all gone to check Alfie's alright as well. There's a load of handshakes going on.
That's what I like about Speedway, though, isn't it? You know, all the boys are on track, the rivals, but off track, they're all mates out there.
It's not no other sport, is it?
No. And apparently you can watch Scunthorpe versus Plymouth on Scorpions TV, but that's a load of crap, so just come down to the track and watch it instead.
Yeah.
Nice to see Lassie Frederick. Good to see Lassie going up and shaking the hands of a couple of Scuddy boys there as well.
Speedway is like any other sport, isn't it?
It is. The next stream on Plymouth TV is on the 12th, which is a week.
That would be a
today.
Very good fucking meeting, because you got the Kingsley and Young stars featuring
Luke Harrison.
Yeah, that's the fella I was thinking about. Luke Harrison,
You
Jody Scott.
So, final scores then. For Plymouth, Kyle Howard scored 10, Alfie Botel 8, Joe Thompson 5, Lassie Fredrickson 7, Mitchell Clough 7 and 1, Daniel Klima 5, Steve Worrell 12 and 2, Simon Lambert 1 and 1, Declan Kennedy 3 and 1, Connor Mountain 5 and 1, Jake Allen 13 and 1, Luke Harrison failed to score, Zane Kennedy 13.
And you called it earlier with Jake going well at this track.
Do you know what the other thing is as well? I started the meeting thread on the British Speedway forum, and I was so close. I said it would be 47-43 either way.
We won't be able to finish the results from Berwick. They are having an enforced delay. Danny and Humes had a really big crash. The race has been awarded. That last race where Daniel was third, the big crash. Jonathan got a bit of a big drive. Daniel couldn't avoid his bike and had a really awkward fall over the finish line. Ambulance out for Hume. That's never what you want to hear for anyone really, but Bob's a proper nice fella.
It's lovely.
And 2 + 1 0. Right, let's send this to Deck while we think about it. A couple of comments coming in. Nice commentary and good banter. Enjoyed the meeting. Nice one, Scunny from Richard. We don't know when we'll be back yet. There's none planned for next week, but we generally just pop them up when we fancy them.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be something on next week.
Oxford are at home, so there's every possibility we end up watching them. You never do know.
Oxford are at home, but they're on Monday and they're on TNT.
And they're a Wednesday one as well. Or is
I'm not sure, there might be.
Is it Paul that are at home on a Wednesday? I'm sure there's a meeting on Wednesday.
I'll tell you what.
I'll have a look.
Let's have a butcher's.
We're in July. Nearly Christmas again.
Not
Wednesday,
a million, but I was like,
Wednesday the 9th, Oxford Cheetahs versus Berwick Bandits. Or
that sounds exciting.
Thursday the 10th, Leicester Lions v Oxford Spires. That'll probably be better.
So either way, we're probably going to be watching Oxford at some point this week.
There is every opportunity we'll be watching one. Do you want to wrap us up for the night, Mush? We've had some new viewers in tonight, so it was good to see some new faces in the chat.
Thank you very, very much for joining us tonight. That has been an absolute pleasure to watch, and I might even watch it again. You guys have been great. Bill, you've been fantastic as always. I've been Dan. That was Plymouth versus Scunthorpe. I'm off to message Winchester. Have a good rest of